What's happening? Mediocre people of YouTube. Why is everyone surprised about the Lions losing yesterday? I mean, like, it's huge here in Detroit. Like, people are really fucked up about it and depressed and pissed off. But, I mean, it's exactly what the Lions are. They did exactly what is expected of them. You know, the Lions, only the Detroit Lions can have a season like they had and find a way to fuck it up right at the very end. That has been their modus operandi for the last 50 years. Finding a way to fucking lose. Now, I too fell victim to letting my guard down with the Lions. One, mostly because I have a person that's close to me that's a Lions fan, loves the Lions, and I kind of let my guard down. And I said, if they win tonight, they gotta win the Super Bowl. There's just no way around it. But, I mean, what was it? What happened? What happened at the Lions game last night? Lions came out, scored right off the bat, real fast, and started fucking celebrating in the end zone like they won the Super Bowl. Every single play, they're celebrating, patting each other on the back, and everything else. That is complete and total lack of experience and lack of leadership with Dan Campbell. Now, don't go crazy because I'm not about to get in Campbell's shit. I'm going to get in his shit a little bit, but it's not really his fault. But, you know, Dan Campbell, if he had more experience, he would have told those guys, settle the fuck down. Focus. Because, you know, that's where San Francisco was at. They're a winning team. They know how to win. They've been there before. They were just focused and calm. Even when they scored and everything, they were happy about it, but they weren't celebrating like they just won the Super Bowl. You know, Dan Campbell should have reined those guys in. So, you know, it's from leadership all the way down. Now, let me explain my thoughts on Dan Campbell. From the day he was hired, I had absolutely no faith in him whatsoever. I mean, zero. You can ask the people around me what the things that I said about Dan Campbell and about what the Lions were about to do. I said, off to a couple of losing seasons before we get a real coach. Because when he was hired, one of the first things I heard was, oh yeah, the players, he gets along with the players really well. And every time any team that I know of has had a Mr. Nice Guy coach, they're off to a losing season. You look at, you know, I'm still a big hockey fan, even though I haven't really followed the Detroit Red Wings in a couple of years now. And here's why I lost interest in the Detroit Red Wings. Same reason. Now they got a new coach now, but the coach they had before, Jeff Blashill, which I think Blashill's gone. You know, they went from Mike Babcock, who was a winning coach, to Jeff Blashill because Mike Babcock wanted to leave. So, but when Jeff Blashill came in, one of the first things I heard about him was, oh yeah, all the players really like him. And I remember telling my brother, here we go again. And he said, yeah, I know, I heard that too. And sure enough, you know, just the Red Wings they weren't a bad team. They had a lot of talent, but they just couldn't get out of their own way. And they kept Blashill around probably 2 years too long. So when I heard about Dan Campbell the day he was hired, and they said, oh yeah, the players really like him, I said, oh great, here we go. And then I guess he's been there 3 years. I thought this was his second year, but okay, this is his third year. So the second year, they had Hard Knocks, HBO, and I was watching him exercising with the team. I said, Jesus Christ. I said, this guy, it's over, man. This team's going nowhere. And people around me are like, really? I'm like, look at their coach. He's not a player. You don't act like a player. You don't fucking talk to those guys, and they're not your buddies. You know, it's just not something you do as a head coach. You're there to coach a team to win. But Dan Campbell has seemed to be, a quick learner, really. I mean, he has really seemed to absorb more than you could give anybody credit for absorbing in the last couple of years. I mean, he's really seemed to become a leader with that team. Although, it's a learning curve. He's not perfect. He's not an exceptional leader yet. But obviously he's a very good leader because he led the team to, a championship game for the Super Bowl. And I think Dan Campbell probably did the best job he could this year with what he had to work with and with the experience he had. So I no longer have an issue with Dan Campbell. I think he has a lot to learn, and I think this year was a huge learning experience for him. Unfortunately for him, he's about to lose his offensive coordinator, who's going to go on to head coach another team, which is, that dude's certainly not ready for that. But he's about to lose his offensive coordinator, and they're about to lose some players. Quarterback, Jeff Goff. Dude, I understand. It is no fun to be crushed by a 300-pound man. But dude, sometimes you gotta run. I mean, Jeff Goff, again, or Jared Goff, I guess is his name, I'm sorry. Jared Goff, again, I think is a player, that's what Dan Campbell had to work with. The dude, obviously, he's not that great of a passer. So Dan Campbell put him in a position to succeed, and he succeeded at what he could do. But man, dude, you gotta run. Once in a while, you just gotta take it upon yourself to go. He had so many openings, not just in this last game. I have seen game after game where he has had so many openings, and at this point, the other team knows he ain't gonna run, so they don't even worry about it. They leave him wide open to just take off and run. And man, he could have scored a couple of touchdowns last night by himself, just by running. But for whatever reason, he's scared to run. And like I said, I have an idea that getting tackled by a 300-pound man is no fun. But hey, you got to take one for the team once in a while, right? San Francisco's quarterback ran it a couple times last night. You guys never heard me talk about football on this channel before, and it's because back in from the year 2000 to about 2005, 2006, I was a huge Lions fan, and that team just destroyed my outlook on football. I just get so upset and pissed off. This is back in the Joey Harrington days when that kid had a hell of a lot of talent, but he was not becoming a man. He was not becoming a leader. He was just, Joey Harrington. I used to scream at the television, he's got to stop being Joey and start being Joe, So it was too bad to see what happened to him. Obviously, he's a nobody now, a no-name nobody now. And along with everybody else that's ever been affiliated with the Lions, The Lions is a team you go to for your career to die. Not as of lately. We've had a lot of young talent, which is probably going to be scouted out. And I'm afraid we're going to see some major changes in the team this year that Dan Campbell just built. And I'm afraid we're going to see a lot of guys leaving. Yes, I think the Lions definitely need a quarterback for sure. They've got to have somebody to rely on other than Jared Goff. Jared Goff is a second quarterback at best. He's a number 2 at best, and you know what? Honestly, Jared Goff, and look, man, it just is what it is. I don't think he really has any business being in the NFL as a quarterback. But I mean, if the Lions wanted to keep him on as a number 2, then I guess so be it. But they definitely need to find somebody that is more confident, can throw the ball, can pass the ball, can run the ball, do it all. That's what you got to be as a quarterback. You are like basically the second in command, from the head coach, more or less. I mean, a quarterback is a hugely responsible role on that team. The team has to believe in you, and they believed in Jared Goff. They gave him everything they could, and he gave those guys what he could, which was not much. But yeah, I fell victim to it as well. I usually just laugh it off when I hear the Lions doing anything because I know better. I know they're going to find a way to fuck it up. I know they're going to find a way to lose. I know better. I've watched it for 50 years, for 40 years anyway. But my entire life, the Lions have been a losing team. Even when they were doing fantastic, they would find a way to lose. And not this past season, but the season before, that's what it was. Find a way to lose a game. Find a way. So, look, the Lions always find a way to lose. They find a way to fuck it up. It just is what it is. I should have never let my guard down. I shouldn't even be making this video because I shouldn't even give them the whatever to know that I'm upset about it. But it sucks for the Lions, sucks for the fans. The whole city came together. It was pretty cool. It was nice to see everybody in the city together for the first time in a while since I've seen the city come together, and people, all walks of life in one room rooting for the same thing. That was awesome. That was the takeaway from this. It was fantastic to see everyone come together in the city of Detroit, because those times are few and far between in the city of Detroit. Most of the time, everybody hates each other. Everybody's out here killing each other. So that was good to see. But yeah, Detroit Lions fucking it up again. Till next time, peace out.